Hello. Hello. Cursed, welcome. Do you like the new video? I like it a lot. I like it a whole lot. Kathleen! Hello, Kathleen. Welcome in. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. I super appreciate it. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Welcome. Yes, that video took me days. Days and days and days and days. I'm so glad you love it, Cursed. I really appreciate the support. You know what I realized last minute? Cursed, how barbaric. Stop spamming all. Oh, Cursed, settle down. That wasn't caps. That wasn't caps. Nightbot is a situation. I hope we might have to settle Nightbot down. I was just about to say I didn't even think about a live reminder, like a top chat versus live chat reminder for Nightbot, a timer that would be like, hey, you might have fallen behind, so check your status. Check your status. Nice, Kathleen. Nice. Thank you so much for being here. The bot is botting. The bot is doing his job. Good old Nightbot. Well, hi. I am only going to be live for a couple of hours. This is the first official live stream for the Story Mode channel. I think I don't have a passion for content creation or streaming. I think I have a passion for rebranding because this will be what, the fourth, Creature Crossing, Valencia Gaming, Creature Crossing, and now Story. So 4. Yeah, I've rebranded 4 times. Well, I guess I've rebranded 3 times. I think that's what I like. So we'll see how long Story Mode survives, and we'll see how soon I need to rebrand. I feel like it's not the appropriate representation of who I am or what I'm trying to do, and then we have to change it. But welcome to Story Mode. Very much a play on words. Story Mode, of course, is a difficulty setting in a lot of games that do have difficulty settings. And if I'm completely honest, I play in Story Mode a lot because I'm the kind of gamer that enjoys the narrative of the game, enjoys getting through the game, like, successfully, and having a positive experience. I'm okay with a little bit of challenge, but I'm not trying to play on even normal difficulty because I'm not that skilled. And definitely not hard difficulty because I'm not the type of person who gets satisfaction from really honing their, like, skills for the game itself. I just want to play the game, and I just want to experience the story, and I just want to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So Story Mode represents that, but it is also a representation of just kind of the celebration of stories in general. And that's why my icons are like a controller and a headset and a stack of books, because this is very much an entertainment channel is what I'm shooting for here. Here we're going to hang out, we're going to play games, talk about movies, TVs, books, you know, whatever, like really celebrate the creativity behind like fictional stories. And we can talk about some real life narratives. You know, we can talk about history, we can talk about mythology, we can talk about stuff that really happened. But yeah, so Story Mode for me kind of represents not only my style of gaming and therefore appropriate to, you know, a gaming channel, but also just kind of expressing, like, we're here for that type of topic around narratives and entertainment, media, things like that. So that's why Story Mode is a thing. That's why she felt like she had to rebrand. Also, I'll let you in on a little secret. I was going to launch a channel called Story Mode a long time ago. If you know, you know. I was going to launch a channel called Story Mode, and it was going to be gaming, podcasting, music videos. It was going to be, I was actually going to create all of that content and release it on the channel versus just having a title that I felt reflected the subject matter of the channel. So if you know, you know, that Story Mode, I'm actually using graphics I created last year sometime. Touched up, you know, tweaked a little bit to support the actual subject here. But yeah, so that's a little inside scoop on Story Mode. It was going to be a channel where I was going to have a podcast where I talked about all of my favorite fandoms and, you know, referenced source material and went through details and all of that good stuff. And then I just, you know, life. And if you don't know me, hi, my name is Faith. I'm also, for those of you who do know me and are in the chat right now, I am very much being a presenter because I'm seeing this stream as more of a VOD than a live stream. So we're definitely going to chat in the live chat, but I'm going to treat this a little bit like a video recording because this is primarily going to serve my audience as a VOD. I'll probably get more views afterwards than I do in the current stream, for now. So that's why I'm presenting this like this. So just don't worry, guys. I see you. I love you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Do you love the graphics? Isn't it so cute? Isn't it so cute? I love the color palette. I love the color palette. You absolutely know. And yeah, this is my stand-in avatar. This is Faith. My hair, this is my hair. She looks exactly like me. Kathleen, no. Kathleen, no. Stop spamming words and phrase. Wait, I'm gonna view it. What did you do? Oh my gosh, let them put some emotes in here. Nightbot. Nightbot. Wait, I'm trying to fix it. What? It took all of Kathleen's messages out because she put 3 hearts in the chat? OMG. Okay, hold on. Kathleen, I'm gonna fix it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna fix it. How do I fix it? I need to do... Hold on. Oh no. R&R for sure. Okay, hold on. Let me do this real quick. We should be good back to the silence. Okay. I told Nightbot to settle down. But yeah, so we are here today to play a game. I was going to say a brand new game. This game came out in 2023. It is not new. It's been around for a hot minute. And it is called Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. It is, like, so precious to me. As some of you will know, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. That does not mean that I am a Lord of the Rings expert. I would love to be a Lord of the Rings expert, but I am not. I have learned that I absorb information, and if I don't use that information semi-regularly, it like falls right out of my brain. So I remember certain details, and I just recently watched a YouTube video on Nerd of the Rings, and I should put the link somewhere. But it describes what history we have of the dwarves in Middle-earth, and people trust Nerd of the Rings to give, fairly accurate representation of Tolkien's work, and that they're pulling from the actual source material and stuff and not just making things up. But I watched this great video that just kind of summarized the history of the dwarves as they have existed in Middle-earth from the First Age to the Fourth Age. And it was great information. It was stuff I'd never heard of before. And like, how much do I still have in my brain? Nothing. Nothing. I watched it like last week. I should have listened to it again today before I went live, but here we are. So anyways, this is an incredible game. It is a crafting slash survival MMO. It's the first game of its kind that I have ever really spent a quality amount of time in. I should look at my logged hours. But this is a really cool game that basically takes you as a player, and you are a dwarf who is headed right back into the mines of Moria at the beginning. We're not really sure when in the Fourth Age, but in the Fourth Age, you're a dwarf returning to Moria. There's going to be a couple of cinematics I'm going to play today that's going to give you the backstory, so I'm not going to talk too much longer. But you're going back to Moria to reclaim it for the dwarves. And Durin the First established Moria as like the main kingdom and dwelling of the dwarves. And there were others, and the dwarves, just like the elves, got kind of split up, and then there was different tribes and different peoples in different areas that excelled at specific things based on the environments that they were in. So very historical, very accurate, as it would happen with, 3 ages of a world, of a time. So anyways, we're trying to go take back Moria for the dwarves, and this is that story. You are that dwarf, and we are going to do a campaign playthrough together, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to shut up, and we're going to play this cinematic. It is the opening cinematic of the game, and it is going to tell you so much better than me what the heck is going on. So sit tight, here we go.
Our story is more than what hobbits and elves
Let me know if I need to turn up, please.
It is time we told it ourselves.
You may recognize the narrator. You might recognize this voice.
With hammer and axe, we cleanse the world from the shadow of the ring and its master. Yet we dwarves celebrate as a scattered people, cut off from our one true home.
Is that good cursed?
Across Middle-earth, we mine and scout, delving for riches, yet the greatest treasure remains out of our reach. Moria. Durin built it before the first sun rose. And through the ages, when darkness threatened our great kingdom, he awoke to lead us again. Until the Balrog took it all away. That was 1,000 years ago. And Durin the Deathless has not returned. Some say, be patient. I say, we wait no longer. It is time to journey from every mountain. Come, rally together. Bring your axes and tools, craft and courage. It is time. We dwarves return to Moria.
Yay! Thanks, YouTube. Okay, how do I do this tactfully? Hang on a second. Okay, hey, here we are. Look, it's a game. It's a game. Okay, so yeah, beautiful cinematic. So exciting. So yes, it's a super high level summation of what's going on. John Rhys Davies, Gimli himself, Gimli son of Gloin, did that intro for this game. I will say that this is a free range studio game, and they do have licensing, so far as I understand it, not trying to spread misinformation. So if anyone pops into the comments later or the chat today, please correct me if I'm wrong. But they have licensing to use the books as source material for basing this game on, which is not appropriate sentence structure, but you know what I mean. And they got John Rhys Davies, and that makes me so happy, and that makes me just like, thinking that he was approached and then agreed to it just makes me so happy to do the voice of Gimli, which we're not going to spend a lot of time with Gimli, but he is actually, of the characters that we spend any time with in this game, he is kind of one of the primary ones. So I love that. That touches my little nerd heart that it is John Rhys Davies doing the narration, the voice of Gimli. So let's get into this game. Like he explained... hold on. Little trickety trick. There we go. As he explained in that trailer, we're going to create a new dwarf. This is post the trilogy. So this is the fourth age. The end of the third age is officially like when Aragorn was crowned King of Gondor. So Return of the King was the end of the third age. So this is the fourth age. And there was a little bit of information that Tolkien had developed. Did not publish, did not like iron out or anything. But as any Lord of the Rings nerd knows, he scribbled notes and had just tons of material and tons of thoughts and concepts and even stories and tales. He had so much stuff that he came up with all through the course of his life. And yes, a new dwarf. That were just notations. And his son Christopher and his wife, who, bless me right now, I can't think of her name, but primarily his son Christopher, gathered all these notes together and organized them and compiled them and gave us the companion books to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, like Beren and Luthien, The Fall of Gondolin, The Children of Hurin, and The Unfinished Tales, and so on and so forth. So we have all of these additional, like, historical texts that basically Tolkien had written them, but he had never put them all together to publish as narratives or even as, like, a history textbook that he probably would have done. So there was a little bit of sprinkles. At some point he was thinking about the fourth age, and he kind of hinted at like what the dwarves were going to get up to. The elves, officially, as we know at the end of the trilogy, the elves are like, we're done with Middle Earth, no offense, we've been here a long time, it's up to men now, like we're handing off the baton to men, and they've got to make this happen, right? And Sauron is defeated, so the assumption is there's like zero evil in the world now or whatever. And in that intro, Gimli does say we dwarves went all over Middle Earth, basically trying to eradicate all the residual evil creatures, orcs, any creatures of Sauron, you know, good stuff like that. So anyways, point of the story is, this is the beginning of the fourth age. And so this is material that was hinted at by Tolkien, but was never fleshed out. So, excuse me, this is really cool stuff. Now, let's talk about the game. This is your dwarf customizer. Character customization, anybody? Okay, so really fun stuff here. This is one of my more... It's weird. This customizer, which I'm not an expert, I've only done a few games that required it. But this one is kind of like mid-quality to me, because I like a lot of the options, and then some of the things just seem very kind of weird about it. But point of the story is you can customize your dwarf, and let's get Beard gone so we can explore the more feminine facial features versus more masculine and everything in between. So anything and everything is an option here in this game, which is really cool. So we're going to have a couple of options here. So yes, you can slap a beard on your lovely lady dwarf if that makes you happy. I don't have that weird obsession with dwarven women with beards. It was a joke in the films. I don't know why people latched onto it so hard. But anyways, it means a lot to some people to be able to put a beard on their female characters. So I'm a weirdo. I want a dude. I have had a couple of female characters, but I'm thinking a dude. Where's my face? What is it called? There's Regal. And then there's Weathered. Neutral. I think I want neutral. I dare you to make a lady. No, I can't do the voices. I can't. We'll talk about it. Kathleen, I'm so excited for you to get this game. I'm so excited. I highly recommend all the DLC. But I'm going to do a dude. We're going to do a beard. Here's a couple of... So here's like one of the best beards in the game, obviously. But we've got mutton chops. We've got some other styles. We have all kinds of things going on. Chin straps, ponies, what was it called? Pony chops. All the stuff going on. And I will totally spoil something for you guys. We'll talk about it a little bit later too. They're doing a campaign expansion. They're doing a story expansion. We're crossing our fingers, us and the cute little Return to Moria Discord community, that it's going to come on around October 22nd. That is Durin's Day per the calendar. And we're hoping they'll release the expansion on October 22nd, but it's coming by the end of the year. So anyways, that being said, they have the game director? I forget his title, but he put in the Discord a teaser of a new beard. So they are going to add additional beard options for anyone who feels very strongly about it. And lo and behold, there's a massive dwarven loving community out there. There's a whole Discord server, as I keep mentioning, and they those people are real ones. Like, they are so about it. They are so about dwarves and dwarven lore and all of that good stuff. Okay, so my default is to do an old man. Kind of Gandalf, kind of wizard. Is kind of my go-to. Oh, I like this. Actually. The Wandering Wizard, indeed. Yeah, Jean-Paul... I don't even remember his last name. Jean-Paul something, he's like the game director, and they refer to him as the Wandering Wizard in the Discord because he's always dropping little teases, which I think is great. So, I'm kind of digging this. Curse, should I fight my instincts? And should we do a different color? I always do white hair. It's just the best. Ooh, that's dark. And then, like, there's no proper gray. This is as gray as it gets. It is the best beard. I don't know. It's pretty good, though. I like this. It's a little Santa. It's a little BA. It's a little combination of all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah, well, I should show you as a proper, content creator. There's so many options for hair. Some more feminine than others. All this good stuff. There's definitely, like, this is a good one right here. Super fun. The white one. Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks for confirming. But yeah, you've got lots of options here. I'm assuming if they're going to add beards, they're going to add additional hairstyles as well. So just so you know, there's a lot of options there. Your hair can match your facial hair. Cannot. You can go crazy. Here's one of my bigger complaints about this game. And it's a really silly complaint for me to have, of all people. But their darker skinned colors are the tones are very odd to me. So that's one slight complaint that I have. This doesn't look like a natural POC to me. This looks a little ashen. So anyways, that's a small complaint that I would have about this customizer. But it's okay because we're going to do something in the middle. Oh, look at him. He's so happy. He's so happy to be here. I reckon do something different to keep it specific to story mode. That's a good insight. That's a good insight. I think I only have Bjorn and Ivar on Epic Games, so we'll see. That's a good insight. I'm going to ignore it for now. Okay, so you can change your eye colors. Oh, I like dark eyes. I didn't know it would look that dark in the end. I will say there are some moments in this game where you are in extremely bright situations, and wait, dwarves even use lotion or have lotion to use? I don't think so. Not that I know of. But sometimes when I do a lighter eye, which my default is to literally do like white. I think that looks so cool. But sometimes your dwarf will be looking a little scary. Nothing has changed, I know. It looks a little scary when you get in certain situations. Let's do some dark eyes. I like dark eyes. I married a guy with dark eyes. It's all good. So you can have some tattoos. We're not going to be able to see these super well. But it's cool to know, now that I'm looking at a bald character, that they actually go on the head as well. That's pretty cool. That's very thorough. Nothing has changed. So yeah, you can do some tattoos. I've never really been tempted to do tattoos. Here's the other thing. You're not going to see his face all that much. Like with most character customizations, you're rarely going to see the details of your character. So I don't even understand. We'll do this one. It's nice and simple. I will, Kathleen. I don't really get it, the details, because you can't see them. You're not gonna see them. Black is fine. Scars, you can do scars. Let's see. There's a scar across the cheek there. This cheek. That, like, you missed with your axe, buddy, when you were mining. So we've got some scars. We've got some scratches. Oh, the classic eye scar. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. You're getting a little Star Trek with it. That's very interesting. You've done the tattoo a couple of times. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to see it, so... You know me being lazy. A couple scratches across the head. Bar Brawl? Oh, I didn't even look at the titles. Mountain Wildcat. Wow, the detail. Mountain Wildcat. Bar Brawl. So he's busted across the nose. Pickaxe. He got sliced across the face. Goblin Pike apparently is what did this. Tree Branch. He ran into a tree. Hidden Door? Okay. Warg Pup. Some scratches there on the side of the face. Politics! Politics. Oh, so he got in a little scuffle over politics, imagine. Tradition. Tradition. Interesting. Interesting. Or none. I'm going to go with none. But those are your options there. And then another fun little thing that you can do. So you notice he's got these metal pieces in his beard, which I love these things. So you can change the color of these. So I can make them blue, green, a dark kind of bronze, which I might actually go with. That looks kind of dark bronzy. You can do more of a golden hue, more of a silver, pink. I do love a good rose gold. Or red, if I, maybe the holiday season, I'll bust out the red. But I think I'm going to go with this darker color. I usually just stick with the white or silver. But I kind of like this dark bronze color. And then if I had hair on this gentleman, I would be able to change the color of the metal in his hair as well. So that's what that is. Super fun. I love that they do tattoos and scars. I wish they did it for 14. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lower his shoulders. Here's kind of my default for my gentleman dwarves. I just make them really boxy. But you do have the options here. So shoulders can be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. The chest can be shallow, so if we turn him sideways here. So I can fill him out. He can be a little bit barrel-chested if you really wanted to, if that made you happy. But I'm just going to have him kind of go straight up and down. Maybe pull him out just a little bit here. For your upper body, should you have a female character with female anatomy, you could give her a little bit of definition, shall we say. A bit of definition. Your belly, in or out, this will be the side profile, so we can give him a nice big belly. Oh, I like my ale. Little beer belly. Or we can bring the belly in. Because I happen to know, actually that's too much. He's got I want him to be a straight line. He's got to be a little box. There we go. This is a very active game. Your dwarf is going to be doing a lot of activity. I want to keep him fit. I want to keep him trim. And then this is your kind of hourglass. Do we give him a nice hourglass figure? It's not that severe, so you could totally get away with it. Or do you leave it out? I'm going to do my little straight up and down situation here. Okay. You could do a Santa dwarf. You really, really, really could. Okay, personality. This one is kind of important. There is a lot is a strong statement. There's a decent amount of dialogue that your dwarf is just going to throw out there. As we're going through campaign, obviously, like many characters in RPGs, think of Aloy and Horizon. You can't really think of Link, he's not a big talker, but characters that you might play in an RPG that they are the exposition in the game, and so they just kind of talk to themselves and tell you what's going on, like, by proxy. So it can feel a little bit awkward, but it's serving the purpose of letting you know, as the player, kind of what's going on. So he's going to say things here and there, and the personality, there's also going to be some reactions to things. The personality to me is very important, because there is brash, which is funny that they do animations for this. They do like emotes for this, because the impact is going to be the dialogue and the way that the dialogue is presented. So there's brash, eager, grim, which I just identify with, And there's focused, which is just kind of business. And so you can have a more energetic, more kind of bombastic dwarf personality, or you can have, I like this guy. He's like shrugging it off. He's like, whatever, life is hard. Here we are. That's me in a nutshell. So here we're going to have our voice options.
The mountain smiles on us today.
So that's a decent one.
At your service.
This one could be,
At your service.
that could be, I think that's kind of androgynous. I think it could go either way.
The mountain smiles on us today.
Khazad-dûm awaits.
Yeah, voice 3 is great. I love a deep, gritty voice.
Oh, if only my Nana could see this.
That could be, I could put that on a female dwarf and not be annoyed by it. Here's the thing. I was saying to Kirst earlier, the voices bother me. The female voices are a little rough.
Oh, that is a long way down.
Okay, so that's a fun voice, but I feel like that's a young voice.
Till Durin wakes from sleep.
Okay, that one's not bad. That could be an older guy.
Oh, a hearty meal cures nearly all.
Okay, see, it reminds me of it reminds me of the lady that I was making fun of in Hogwarts Legacy from Death Cat. What is it called? What is the shop called? Oh, it's the shop in Hogsmeade where you can get like the dangerous plants. Something in Death Cap and something. That I was making fun of her, like her Scottish brusque. So and so she's like a bear's nest, blah, blah, blah. Like her, just it drives me bonkers. So like I don't like that voice.
An orc stronghold.
And then this is like a younger,
An orc stronghold.
young lady. That one can get a little.
Il Arab da Irazu.
That one can get a little annoying too. Okay, so this is what's fun. Favors Khuzdul. We have a couple of voices, a male and a female voice for this. Favors Khuzdul. Your dwarf will speak in Khuzdul, and that's dope. But I don't speak Khuzdul, so I get a little lost. It's a very cool language. It's an actual language, as we know. Really, one of Tolkien's like big motivations for creating his world was that he was a linguistics professor. He loved a language, and he pulled from many languages of the world that he just really loved and created languages, and then was like, well, shoot, I need to create like a mythology to support these languages. So I love that it is Khuzdul, that it exists. It's a real language. It shows, it like pays homage to the source material, but I don't speak it. I don't speak it. So I'm not going to favor Khuzdul, as cool as it is, because I need to understand what my dwarf is saying. And then that's kind of the older female voice, and she's also a little scary. So anyways, we're going to go with
Mountain smiles on us today.
voice 2 or voice 3.
Khazad-dûm awaits.
Oh, that's tough.
The mountain smiles on us today.
I think I'm going to go with voice 2. Now, here's something so cool. I promise we're going to get out of the customizer at some point. So, remember I mentioned that much like the elves, the dwarves, especially after the, which happened first. I'm pretty sure the Balrog came to Moria first, Durin's Bane, right? Ran all the dwarves out of Moria, and then the kingdom of Erebor was established after that. Oh, guys, somebody look it up. I think this is right. And Erebor is the Lonely Mountain. That is the Hobbit story. That's Smaug the dragon. That's Erebor. The Lonely Mountain is in Erebor. And so, basically the dwarves, after Moria was taken over by evil forces and the dwarves were run out, there was also a dragon, I think, early on, but they just dispersed and they went to different places. So this game represents the existing tribes, if you will, or races of dwarves based on their location. So the Lonely Mountain, here we are, origin is a category. The Lonely Mountain, so this would be Erebor. This would be the king under the mountain, which I believe King Thrain, or is it King Thorin in this game? And just like history, Marcus and I were just talking about this, just like in actual history, whether it be French or English or whatever, the European hierarchy system, how basically the lineage of kings, there would be like King Henry the First all the way through King Henry the Eighth, and then there would be like King Edward the First all the way through King Edward. This is going to show my ignorance. The Sixth, maybe. King Charles the First versus King Charles. You know what I mean? So like, that's the same thing with the dwarves. They passed these names down. So I believe it's King Thorin at the moment, and you're going to immediately think of Thorin Oakenshield, but this is his descendant. And this is somebody who is his namesake. So it's not Thorin Oakenshield. That was before the trilogy. This game is post-trilogy. So there's been, Thorin. Not to mention Durin's. We're going to see a lot of references to the line of Durin in this game. And so I think it's 1 to 7, if I'm correct. So, that's just what's happening. So anyway, the Lonely Mountain is currently, like, the main kind of kingdom of the dwarves at the moment. And King Thorin... Stonehelm, I think, we'll see, is a king there under the Lonely Mountain. He's kind of like the High King, right? But then we've got all these other places, these other, what's the term I want to use? I want to use colonies. These other colonies of dwarves that exist around Middle-earth. Okay, so the Glittering Caves. Guys, this is a Rohan reference. So do you remember, if you read the books, you'll definitely remember, because I don't think they mention the Glittering Caves in the films at all, but in the books, the caves that the women and children are hidden in at Helm's Deep when they fight the Battle of Helm's Deep, of course, then Isengard is unleashed. They hide the women and children in these caves. Gimli goes down there for a minute, and he's like blown away, because these caves are literally dripping with like gems and precious ores, and he refers to them as the Glittering Caves. So, fun fact, 4th Age, after everything that happened, Gimli discovers the, quotes, Glittering Caves in Helm's Deep. He gets permission from King Eomer, that's right, Eomer, to establish a dwarven colony there because they want to mine it. And he's like, sure, of course, because we're all best friends now, right? Because we just went through this horrible thing together. So there's a colony of dwarves at the Glittering Caves, and it would make sense that Gimli in this game, in this time frame, he's kind of the head dwarf over in the Glittering Caves. So they're going to give you different clothes. You can tell the outfits are a little bit different. So Lonely Mountain, this is a more traditional outfit. The Glittering Caves, super fun. The Iron Hills, I'm not going to go into details about all of these, but these are just additional dwarven kingdoms that are kind of in the area. The Coastal Mountains, the Blue Mountains, the Red Mountains, the Lonely Mountain. They're dwarves. They like mountains, okay? So you can kind of choose your base, like, oh, where does my dwarf come from? This game is, the idea is that all these dwarves are coming from all these different colonies, and they're coming here to take back Moria, to kind of join forces again and unite the dwarven people again. So this particular, the Blue Mountain outfit, is one of my favorite outfits. Another thing, you're not going to see this outfit for very long, or for very much, or for very long, you know what I mean. You're not going to see these clothes that much, because you're going to be gaining and equipping armor as you go. But anyways, it's really important that you look fashionable when you first start out. And I think I just like this outfit best, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, and name this dwarf. So I could just give him a name, and I'm tempted, because guys, I'm so silly. I finally put together the connection. Because if you ever noticed, dwarves are so often presenting as Vikings. They're very Viking-esque, right? They, and then they all have Scottish accents for some reason, which this isn't part of what makes sense. But they're very Viking in the way that they kind of present, in the way that they look, in the way that they, they're warriors, and, they wear these tough, leather and furs, and, they got shields and axes and, all this stuff. So you think Viking, you just kind of do that. You just kind of think Viking. And what's interesting is how much Norse mythology influenced Tolkien and his worlds. And he used the Finnish language as a reference for, is it Quendi or Kendi? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. One of the Elven languages is actually based on the Finnish kind of cadence, the way that the Finnish language works. So basically, I wasn't aware, because I'm a silly person who doesn't see obvious things, that a lot of Norse mythology is reflected in Tolkien's world. And I believe, and I could be wrong, Norse mythology, the Viking sagas, all that good stuff, that's kind of the origin of dwarves and elves and giants. I don't know all mythologies of all races in all the world, but it's definitely like where these races were kind of established. The fact that dwarves are miners and craftsmen, that's so like there's just story upon story of like the dwarves they made I'm gonna say it wrong. They made Thor's hammer. I'm not gonna call it by its name because I'm gonna mispronounce it. They made Thor's hammer. They made Odin's spear. And we all see we immediately think of the Marvel films, but these characters, of course, have existed for generations. And so these, mystical, magical weapons, all this stuff. So, like, the dwarves existed in Norse mythology, and they were the craftsmen. And so I'm just like, of course, this all makes sense. This is where this came from. So anyways, let me randomize some names over here. So all that being said, there's a part of me that's like, why don't I just call this guy Sigurd? Or why don't I just call him Ragnar or something? Because my OG dwarf, my very first dwarf with my very first world, like my forever island, he's Bjorn, and it's great and perfect. So I probably should just I might call him Sigurd because I think that's just a really cool name. But let's see what we can come up with. So, and a lot of these names that it's going to generate, like the names of the dwarf, like it's so Nordic, it's so like the Danes, like I don't know how I never put this together. I'm a silly person. Sigrun. Okay, so that's close. That's not Sigrun, but Sigrun. And I like refuse. They do have some more here. That's so Norse. They do have some names in here of references to other pre-existing dwarves in the narrative, and like I refuse. I'm like, I'm not going to be Ori or Nori or Gloin or Thorin or Thrain. Like, I'm not going to take any of those. They're sacred, right? Those names are sacred. So this gives you a lot of good options here, and some that are a little more feminine in pronunciation versus ones that are a little more masculine. Sigrun, nice. Yep. Domil, Imcalgel for Ilyana, Berder, Holda, Thora. Aldrich? I like Aldrich. Let's go with that. Okay, we're saving Aldrich. Okay, guys, we're going to launch into another cinematic here, and pay attention, right? And let me know if I need to turn it up. Wait. Create world. I'm going to randomize a side note here. My forever island dwarf is Jorvik. Nice. World seeds, if you're not familiar, which I was not because I don't play games like this. Your world seed is like a code that's going to randomly generate the environment of your game. So certain areas will be, it's not really the areas themselves that move, but it's the connections between the areas I've noticed that are a little more randomized. So the world seed, you maybe play your first game, which I'm very much like Bjorn's world. That's my favorite one because it's the first one I play, this one I'm most familiar with. So I could copy that seed and slap it in here. I'm just going to randomize it. I'm familiar enough with this game, I think, to handle any variation it throws at me. But once you find a world seed, like a layout that you really like, feel free, you can like throw that in here. And we're going to call it Aldrich's World. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do story mode. Just so you know. I'm getting older and I don't have the best memory, so I'll put that in there. There you go, Curse. That'll be my direct reference. Okay, so we're going to create campaign, and as soon as I create this, I hit this button, it's going to launch us into a cinematic, so pay attention, okay?
Yes, dwarves from every clan have answered your call, despite the King Under the Mountain's objection. Lord Gimli, Erebor will not support entering the Black Pit.
If the king wants to stop us, he can come himself.
Every attempt you've made has failed. This is a sign.
No signs or kings are going to stop us. This is the time to reclaim Khazad-dûm. Today, we get into that mountain. Any luck?
Nah, won't budge.
Did you try speaking friend?
Now, why didn't I think of that before? You did your best. On to plan B.
Ah, finally.
Plan B? Is that blasting fire?
I'd stand back if I were you.
This is madness! Gimli, you can't! We have to wait for Durin!
Durin's not here. We have to do this ourselves. Maybe this will wake him up. Limin Barak, Limin Tagaz, Kazad Dashtin.
Oh, no! Lord Gimli! This is another sign!
Oh, hammer tongues. It's the Fourth Age. Nothing is going to stop us.
You heard Lord Gimli. Let's go. Pack it in. Yes, nice and tight. Come on, help him out.
That was no normal dwarf blast. I need a torch. Too dark for dwarf eyes.
Okay, I was waiting for him to say the thing about the torch. I knew that was coming. Okay, here we are. So, great little intro cinematic. Kind of explains everything that's going on. We got to see Gimli! Gimli in his gray age. I love it so much. So here we are. So, obviously, Gimli's like, let's go take back Moria. Let's just do it. We'll talk about Durin and the legend and everything as we go. I'll try to multitask, which we all know is not my gift, but I'll do my best. So, we are here. We got blasted in, but we were the only one of that group because everybody else got out right in time. So I just want to point out a couple of things from that cinematic. The first thing is the emissary. He doesn't have a name. The emissary from Erebor. Erebor being the Lonely Mountain. The king under the mountain being Thorin. I believe Stonehelm. So we'll confirm that later. But he's basically like the king does not approve of this plan. So that's just something to keep in mind. The Gimli's gone rogue, and he's like, we're doing this now. And when we put the blasting powder in and we heard the rumble and everything shook, did you notice that there was like a purple mist or smoke or haze that kind of started to come up out of the ground and kind of chased everybody back? Oh gosh, I'm in the... Hold on. Okay, so I'm in darkness because I don't have a light source, and it's actually chipping away at my HP. It's chipping away at my health. He did say, it's too dark for dwarf eyes here. I need to make a torch. So I'm going to try not to panic, and I need to do this. I need to run around. I need to grab some wood. So here are some wood scraps clearly labeled for you when you come up on them. Some wood scraps, so you can just pick these up. And then you can see in my, what is this called officially? This bar at the bottom of the screen. There's a term for it. I'm not a real gamer, so I don't know what it is. But you'll see that I have 20 pieces of wood listed down here. So now I'm going to open my menu. And it's like a tab menu, so you just flip back and forth between your tabs. So you've got a couple different categories. I'm going to pop over to crafting because I just know that I need to be in my crafting menu to make a torch. So Kirst is panicking right now because she's like, you're going to die if you don't do this faster. But I want to show you guys what the steps are. Hotbar? Yeah, that sounds right. So hit A to craft. Crafted a torch. He did a little fist pump like, yeah, we're the best. Okay, so now I have a torch in this bar at the bottom. So now I'm going to select it and boom, I've got a torch. So crafting is something you're going to do constantly as well as other things. This is obviously the tutorial. This is the beginning of the game. So it's kind of walking you through the steps. So yeah, so this area is not important. This is just kind of your landing spot in the game. There's nothing really going on around here. And the game is going to hold our hands for just a little while, telling us kind of step by step what we need to do to like survive on the most basic level. So it's going to give us little quest objectives and kind of let you know what's going on. So here we are, good times. I'm going to pick up all of this wood. I'm not going to need all of it, you know, but let's do it for now. And we're just going to keep going up here. Now, when you first play this game, and I'm kind of sad that Kathleen hasn't played it before she's watched it because I feel like it's spoiling everything, but it's very spooky because you have no idea Like, you're in Moria. Like, and we're taking it back, right? So telling me to jump over this chasm is telling me to press A to jump. I am playing with a controller on PC.
Be a way back to camp. Could try the doors of Durin from the inside. Let's get going.
Okay, so he's like, let's try the doors of Durin. Those were the doors we were trying to bust in that cinematic we just watched. Obviously, you guys saw the mithril etching in the door. That's from the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. When they get to Moria, those are the doors that the Fellowship enter through. So that's the doors of Durin. This helps me prepare for the fun. I know, but like, there's something so important about being so scared when you first play the game. Because you just don't know what's coming. Okay, so new material, metal fragments. So same system, it's just going to highlight when you get close enough. He's going to talk at any second. Are you going to use your words? What's his name? What's our name? Who am I? I don't remember. Aldrich or something? Okay, so in the top right corner here, we have the kind of visible list of our quest objectives at the moment. So tunnel a way out. We're gonna try to get to the doors of Durin. Your dwarf established that for you. That's where we're headed if we can get there. But our objectives are to craft a pickaxe and dig through the rubble, aka this wall of rock here. So we're gonna do the same thing we did for the torch. We're gonna go into the menu. This is the crafting tab. We're going to go down to the pickaxe. We'll select that. Another fist pump. He's like, yeah, we did it. Okay, so now we have a makeshift pickaxe. Is he going to say... Dude, you have dialogue. You have dialogue here. Do it. Okay, he's not going to do it. All right, while holding a pickaxe, press whatever to dig through. So whether you're on keyboard or you're on controller, just follow the prompts on the screen. This is a sound you're going to hear a whole lot. Spoiler alert. Okay.
Oh, Firelight, we are not alone.
You weren't scared when he was like, we're not alone, in that super scary tone? I was so scared because I just didn't know. I'm like, I know there's enemies in here. This is a survival game. This isn't gonna go well. I know that my life is in danger. I was nervous. And it was so dark. When I first played this game, which was April of last year. So like I said, it was released in 23. I'm gonna make a side note real quick before I keep talking so I don't die. My next objectives were to satisfy my hunger, is the title, collect mushrooms and eat the mushrooms. So you guys saw me pick up some mushrooms. Let's go look at some more. It's going to be really hard for me. I've played this game so much. I've played so many campaigns to not take for granted that I know what to do without taking a moment to explain it. So these are mushrooms.
A raven of Erebor.
He's talking about that guy you can't see in the shadows. Don't worry. These are the mushrooms. You're going to get a ton of these. And that's what that is. That's what they're talking about. So he said collect mushrooms and then eat mushrooms. So we'll see that in my quotes hot bar, I have 14 mushrooms. I'm going to eat one to fill my little belly. Now, the bars in the bottom left corner, the compass-like one is just letting you know how much light you, how lit your space is. Because remember, we were taking darkness damage at the beginning. So this is just a little gauge to let you know when you're in the dark officially and you're you need to find a source of light or make a source of light before you start taking damage. Your red bar, classic HP bar, this is your health. Keep an eye on that. And then there's a yellow bar, which you can barely see because it's barely full. There's a yellow bar underneath the red one. That's your cheese levels, as we call them, because there's a little slice of cheese as the icon next to it. It's basically your fullness, how much food you have in your belly. And I believe that may translate to your stamina. I'm not a pro gamer, so I'm not 100% sure what the crossover is, but I just know being hungry, you can die from basically hunger. It takes a minute, so you don't have to panic if your stomach is empty and you don't have food at hand, but you will start to take damage if you are hungry for an extended period of time. I have actually died of starvation by walking away from my dwarf for a minute, like took maybe a bathroom break or something, and then I came back and he was dead and he had like an empty belly. I was like, oh, you literally starved to death. Okay, a raven of Erebor, he said. This is our friend. Spoiler alert, he's a little creepy too, and I wasn't so sure about him in the beginning.
Are you from our camp?
Thank the winds. I am Arik, son of Arak. Yours is the only friendly face here.
What's happened to the rest of camp?
I cannot tell. A curse, ill curse. It blocks me.
Could you search for another way out? For any other survivors?
I will search. You go east, see what you can find. I will fly to you when I can.
Do you have anything to say, sir? I don't want to cut you off. So that is Arik, son of Arik. And he's not a butt. He's super helpful, actually. Give me just a second here. I'm going to pause real quick. I got to do a thing. He's super helpful, actually. So give Arik a little bit of love. Let's appreciate him a little bit. Yeah, a raven of Erebor, and there's lore around them too. So this game, I will rant and rave as we get more into it about how on point they are with the lore in this game and how much it touches my heart that the developers, the creators of this game, did and do go so hard to make it lore accurate. Okay, so Arik, son of Arik, he is a raven of Erebor. And I gotta fix my life. Here we go. And he somehow is in here with me. No explanations. And he's gonna be really helpful. He's kind of your guide. He's gonna give us directions as we go, so we kind of know what to try to do next. So anyways, I'm gonna grab these materials that are laying around. They're definitely gonna come in handy later. And this, don't panic. This poor fellow right here. This very scary, cursed, scary skeletal situation. So a fallen dwarf. So we're always remembering that the dwarves were run out of Moria by the Balrog that Gandalf did defeat by the end of the Third Age. So these guys are casualties, and you're going to find them kind of around the area. So fallen dwarf, obviously you can honor them. So we're going to bow. Can't see me bowing, honoring him. And then when you honor them, they glow for a second, they vanish, and they drop a hero's token. And the hero's token is going to be an item that you can use a little bit later on. So you want to collect that. Grab these mushrooms. I don't think there's anything else in this area that matters, so we're going to push forward here. Sure. Oh my gosh, Nightbot. My heart, the poor guy. Yeah, there's victims everywhere. It's a survival game. Like, this isn't a cozy game. This is not a cozy game. You can decorate in this game, but don't be confused. It's a survival game. It's dangerous. And at the moment, I will say, and I do this every time I start a new campaign, I'm on normal right now. I have not set the difficulty yet. And I might stay on normal, honestly, just because of my experience, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. Alright, new tutorial. Build quick platforms to traverse terrain. So here we go. Build quick platforms. Press the down button to build a quick platform. So again, these controls are going to be different on controller for PC versus keyboard and mouse. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Also, it's a tutorial. You guys have eyeballs. When you play this game, you'll be able to read it and interpret it for yourself. But here's your next challenge. You're going to build these quick platforms. You need wood for them. I believe one piece of wood equals a platform, so you don't need a ton. It's pretty easy to be able to make these in the wild. Okay, we're going to have a bit of a drop here, because you really do have a decent range of fall damage. So I'm not going to take any damage from that drop. You will kind of learn your limits as far as traversing the game. And for this playthrough, I am not going to be utilizing any like special items or kind of fan-made features and fan-made items that help you kind of cheat in some of these areas. I will let you guys know about them for your playthroughs, but I'm not going to use any of them for this playthrough. So I know Kirst is about to be like, oh, but you could use the one thing and then you won't take any fall damage. But we're not talking about that yet. I'm not going to use it in this game, so settle down, Cursed. Alright, so we busted through another wall of rubble. And as you can tell, and you will pick up because you guys are pro gamers, as I am not, anything that looks like this, it wants to be broken. This is the definition of that for this game. Alright, here we go. Come down here. Oh! Look at the... Oh! This is creepy. I'm sorry, Curse. This is scary. There's dead people everywhere. There's dead people everywhere. Okay, so what's really fun about this, which is not fun. It's not fun. But these are the doors of Durin, obviously clearly labeled, as Kathleen said. So, this is the inside. So basically, this is the door that the Fellowship came through. And if you guys remember in the films, they were crunching on the bones of, you know, deceased members. These look kind of humanoid. These might be orcs. They're a little bit bigger. They're a little man-shaped versus the smaller dwarven skeletons. But it's almost a callback to the films because this was what it was like at the very inside of the Doors of Durin in the movies. I wouldn't recommend it for a first playthrough once you've completed your campaign. Agreed. And like I said, I'll mention them, but yeah. We don't need to talk about it. Can you guys hear the, like... Can you hear it? Creepy. I'm gonna turn it up for a second. No, I can't. Never mind. I'm not gonna turn it up. No, don't do that! That doesn't do anything. You guys hear it? So creepy. Okay, so anyways, look is the command I'm being told to do, so let's look at them.
Doors of Durin. What's wrong with that? I've never seen runes with such shadow. No wonder we couldn't get it open from the other side.
No wonder we couldn't get it open from the other side. Okay, new goal, explore until Auric returns. Do you guys remember who Auric is, or do you already forget about him? The Doors of Durin are cursed. Obviously, look at them, cursed. They're making spooky noises because this is a scary game. Anyways, keep exploring. I'm gonna eat a mushroom. My cheese levels are really bad. I'm sorry, this game isn't scary. You might not have been able to hear all of the details, but there were drums banging, and all of those voices, it's the orcs and goblins talking to each other. That they are, because they're still here. I mean, that's the whole point. We've got to take the mines back for the doors, right? So there are still evil creatures that exist down here. It's a survival game. What did you expect? Here's a couple more casualties here on the ground. Lots of unfortunate things happening. So... what the orc said, if you could not hear it, let me know about gameplay balance. You guys need to be able to hear the dialogue in the game, as always. But he basically said, ooh, like a dwarf. Get him. Oh, they're over here. Do you see the... Do you see... Okay, let's go.
We got orcs!
Yeah, we got orcs. Do you see him with a torch over there? These are goblins, actually. But, like, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna be like, hey, man, what's up? And he's gonna burrow. They're not going to last this night. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. He's going to burrow him little self into the ground. This guy's going to do the same thing. Bring the big guy. Ooh, I don't know who he's talking about. I have some ideas, but I don't know. Hashtag no spoilers. So at this stage in the game, I was about to say that the leader of the orcs that we just heard was basically saying, we're not going to attack yet. We're going to, like... warn all of our guys, and we're gonna like get ready. And they have a commander, so they're not gonna do anything without their commander say so. So immediately you are confronted with the prospect of orcs and goblins in the mines, but they are not gonna attack you at this stage in the game. So take a moment, take a deep breath. You are not in any danger at the moment. Crafting another torch, because mine burned out, just like with mini games of this type. your items will deteriorate. You will have to repair them or replace them. Hey, look, it's our buddy. Not a butt, our buddy. Oh no, he's not talking to me. Okay.
Arik, what news?
Look how big he is.
There's no way west. No way out.
It's a big bird.
I did not think we would see shadow-cast runes in Moria. Our path, then, must go east.
Long journey. You must prepare. Up here, at that old dwarven camp.
You're right. It's time to find shelter before making our way farther.
I will scout ahead. Stay alive.
With luck, we'll exit the Dimril Gate. For now, we must face the long dark of Moria.
By Arik. I don't know if you guys can catch it, but he's like, Moria. Our buddy. Oh my gosh, you're gonna call him that from now on. I just know it. Okay, so the Doors of Durin, not an option, right? Cursed. We don't know what the heck is going on with this purple stuff is, but that's the purple stuff that showed up when we tried to blow our way into the mountain. And that's what blew me into the mountain. And good times. So Eric is basically telling me, hey, we've got to try a different exit, but we've got to travel a bit. We're going to have to go through Moria for a little while longer to try another exit to get out. So before I do that, classic survival game, we're going to build a shelter.
Outpost of Balin's company. We can shelter here.
An outpost of Balin's company. So we need to find shelter. We need to establish a bit of a base camp, some protection. And we need to establish basically like somewhere to come and recover or store materials or whatever else. So whenever you see this particular flag, you'll see a lot of banners. This one is a deterioration of a sigil of Balin. If you guys remember, oh my gosh, the goblin get 'em. Yeah, I'm glad you had a little bit of a scare in the front. It's scary. So you're gonna hear goblins and orcs periodically and not really be able to find them immediately. So don't let that, you know, bother you too much. So yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and clear some of this debris because we're going to build a little house here, kind of. But I was just gonna say, if you guys remember from the films when they come to Moria, remember what Gimli was saying to Gandalf on the mountain? He said, my cousin Balin will give us a royal welcome. When he's like, we should go through Moria, why aren't we going through Moria, Gandalf? What the heck, right? Because Gandalf knows about the Balrog, Gimli does not. So Balin is the tomb that they find in the films, and that, you know, Gimli has his very reasonable breakdown. He starts crying, and that's the Balin who built these outposts. So there have been dwarves in the past that have tried to come take Moria back, or at least lead an expedition to explore, kind of figure out what's going on, so on and so forth. So there was a couple of attempts to reclaim Moria, or at least identify what the situation was. Moria had been under the Balrog's control for, I think, since the First Age. Well, no, he came to the mountain in the First Age, but Durin woke him a very long time ago. So anyways, Balin, that's the reference. He did come with a company of dwarves and attempt to either explore, investigate, and or take the mountain back. And as we know from the films, he didn't make it. Okay, so there is a pedestal here with a book on it. It's labeled as Ori's Records, so I'm going to look at this. And that's just a great lore reference. So that's going to tell us a little bit of the story of what's going on here. It'll be a reference for us. This pedestal is very pretty, but I'm going to break it because I like to have a tidy house. Now, this is how your base camps are going to work. You're going to find abandoned things like this that you can take over, or when you get a little bit more experienced, you can kind of build them from the ground up anywhere you want. But when you first come here, you're going to see some debris, you're going to see some broken down items. So some of these things we actually want to interact with. These goblins are acting like they're going to attack me, but they're not. Okay, so the first thing we're looking at here is a stone hearth. This is a key item. You're going to be like hearth obsessed by the time you finish this game. Digging for the Arkenstone, or was that just a reach from Rings of Power? No, so the Arkenstone was the gem from the Lonely Mountain. So if you remember the Hobbit book and the Hobbit films, the Arkenstone was inside of an Erebor. What is the actual name of the mountain? I need to remember, but that's actually an Erebor treasure. The stone that is here that you know about, that I'm not going to call out yet for the sake of spoilers, is the appropriate stone to be here in Moria. So there's multiple kind of precious artifacts, and the Arkenstone actually belongs in Erebor. That's kind of its prime location. So anyways, when you come in here and you see a demolished stone hearth, you will have the option to rebuild it if you've collected enough stone. Oh, look, a nice cozy fire. Everything's gonna be fine. So, as you guys saw, as I tore things down, I didn't explain it, I knocked some stuff down, and stone dropped. Give me an example. Give me an example. This is wood. This is wood. Why didn't I see? I take it for granted that I've played this game and you guys know what's going on. So here's a pile of stone, and you'll start to recognize which pieces are breakable and which ones aren't. This one is, so I'm just gonna pick at it. And it's dropped some stone. You guys can see this. It's kind of like a brick. So times 4. So you will be able to collect stone very easily. Stone and wood are going to be your most plentiful resources, so don't stress about picking up every single tiny little bit you possibly can, unless that's your playstyle and that's what makes you comfortable. But basically, without a hearth, which you need stone to build, I know I'm starving, it's going to be fine. Without a stone hearth, you cannot build anything. So this is step 1. This is always step 1 of anything you're trying to do. You need a stone hearth to do it. Okay, so now that we have a stone hearth, I have about 53 stone in my hotbar here. We're going to go back into the menu, again our tabs, and we're going to pop over to the build tab. If you are, I must pick up, I know, if that's your place. I know, I was going to say it, I acknowledge. This is a tab that you'll live in if you do really love building and creating things in game, but at the moment we're not going to obsess about building. That's my advice to you, and I'm going to play this campaign the way I would advise your first campaign to go, and then you can do it however you want. So if you decide hey, at this very first base, I'm going to build because that's what I enjoy, that's your prerogative. I'm going to go through here and basically say in my opinion, as a mediocre / casual gamer, what you need to prioritize to get through the campaign. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing a bunch of building, at least not at this point, okay? So all I'm going to worry about is this other tab menu under building plans. So we've got essentials and crafting, we have wood and stone, we have lodge, this is a DLC option, and we have furnishings, which some of these items are DLC related. So if you don't buy the DLC packs, you won't have access to all of these items. They're not base game default, so just know that. But I'm going to go to wood and stone, and I'm going to scroll down to these walls here, right? So I'm going to grab a stone wall, and the building mechanics are good, but can be rough depending on how perfect you're trying to be and what exactly you're trying to build. But you can kind of see here with these walls, there is a snap mechanic, so they kind of snap to each other once you get them going. But now I have this wonderful wall with this wonderful door, and I am a little bit protected. I've got some privacy here. Okay, so now that we've done that, I really want to destroy this thing because it's a mess, and it's not a thing you need to keep. It's not a thing you need to keep. The next thing I'm going to repair is the furnace. This is another item that you can rebuild, and you only need stone for it. And like I said, stone is one of the easier things to gather, so you can do this as step 2 for establishing your base camp. Build, explore. Yes. Yeah. And as we go, it'll make more sense. I'll kind of explain how it works. Okay, so by rebuilding the furnace, I have unlocked a crafting recipe for the furnace. So now I can build this feature, or what do I want to call it? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I can build a furnace anywhere now. If I have a hearth. We're not going to attack, you guys. Be quiet. Oh, they're so chatty. My gosh. We're safe from them. Don't worry about them. I am starving, though, and my HP bar is getting almost halfway down. But anyways, I've unlocked the recipe for the furnace, And then I also unlocked a recipe for an iron ingot, which we're going to interact with here in just a second. Okay, so I can rebuild this with stone. I can rebuild this with stone. You want to kind of start there. Now, I have a list of objectives here for the camp. It says to rebuild the old camp. I've checked everything off the list except build a bedroll, which is going to be in my Essentials and Crafting tab in the build menu. It's a menu within a menu. It's not weird, I promise. Okay, so here's my bedroll. It's super basic. Yes, this is your only option for now. It is what it is. You're camping. We're not putting down roots, you know, we're just camping out, having a good old time. And then my next thing on the list is to claim a bedroll. So you're going to come over here and you're going to hit claim. This is so important because if you die, and you probably will, you will respawn at your bedroll if you have made and claimed one. If you haven't, you will respawn at the very front of the game where we got blown into the mountain. So if you get hours and days and miles, for lack of a better term, into the mines, you get into more, you go deep, and then you die, you're going to respawn at the very front of the game and basically have to backtrack. You're going to have to go all the way like back to where you were. So every time we hop base camps, we're going to build a bedroll and we're going to claim it in that area so that that's where you respawn if the worst should happen. So this is actually really important. Okay, so cook a meal to recover health is my next directive. So let's cook some mushroom stew. I have a decent amount of mushrooms. So I'm interacting with the stone hearth. I should clarify that I'm not going into the menu. I'm walking up to the hearth, and as you can see, there's a command that says craft. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit craft. That's going to open up this menu. And I'm going to select the mushroom stew. And excuse me, at this stage, I'm going to make 2 servings. Because 2 servings on a stone hearth is what's going to fill your cheese bar. A little bit later, we'll be able to cook less for the same amount of fullness. But for now, you're going to need 2 portions. So just a little pro tip. Little pro tip there. Oh, he's starving. He's so hungry. He's so hungry. Okay, so while we're hanging out here, I'm going to do some building. Some essential building. I'm going to go to Essentials and Crafting. I'm going to select this wall torch. It's really dark in here. And I would just like to be able to see better. So I'm going to place some wall torches above. Whoop. And, I mean, this is fire. This stuff is dim. It is not, you know, the brightest stuff. Things will come later. But for now, you're kind of just, you're roughing it a little bit. So I just want to, give a little bit of light. And here we are. We've got our mushroom stew. I'm going to eat that. Oh, look at those bars fill up. That's so nice. So yeah, you can see that my my cheese bar is halfway full. So if I eat this other portion, I'll be completely full. Okie dokie. All right. So another thing to know. Actually, do you need to know? You need to know. You cannot cook on a stone hearth if you do not have a table, specifically a meal table. So this will be in your Essentials and Crafting. I have a DLC table in here, and then I have a small camp table. Now, sometimes in this game, and it's a good plan to just make everything kind of when you can, because building some recipes, creating some of these things will unlock new recipes for you. So if I build the camp meal table, even though I have a table in here, it was already in here. If I build this, there you go. I unlocked a different version of the meal table, which is kind of more the default. But at the end of the day, this table will be in some of the base camps. It won't be in all of them. This is the most basic version of the table that you need. But the default table, the table that I feel like you just kind of use the most, is going to be this meal table. Right here. And I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know why. I don't know why the little square one is not good enough for me. I want like a real table with a runner and some candles. You know what I mean? This is really helpful information. That's good. Okay, so, but yeah, you cannot cook. If I went here, I'll just show you real quick. I know you get it, but like, no meal table. Let me go over here and see how it tells you what's required to build any recipe in your build menu. I need mushrooms, I need a meal table, which I do not have, it's in red, and I need 45 seconds. I've got 45 seconds. But yeah, so it'll tell you what you have, what you don't have. So if you try to do something in the crafting menu of any variation, there's build menus, craft menus, cook menu. There's like, well, you'll get used to it. It's going to tell you what you're missing. So if you ever feel stuck, if you ever feel like you're trying to do something and the game won't let you do it, like take a minute, take a deep breath, and look in the menu. It'll tell you what you're missing, right? Okay, so I cannot cook anything unless I have a meal table. I was trying to pick this up. So here we go. Here's this guy. Especially if you're campaigning with others, as the little square only fits 2 portions. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Curse brings up a good point that I have not mentioned yet, and that is that this game is primarily designed to be played with a group of friends. And when I started this game in April of last year, I actually had to quit playing it because I got to a mid-boss and I could not beat him on my own. At that time, the game did not have difficulty levels. It had 1 difficulty. And the game was designed to be played with a group. It's an MMO. It's designed to be that way. So I literally couldn't progress in the game without help. And at the time, I didn't have, nor did I want help. So I just put the game down. I was like, well, I can't play this game because I can't beat this guy because it's not designed to let me. So when I found out that they had introduced a solo, there's a couple of different, we'll look in the menu seriously here in a minute. But they introduced a solo difficulty for solo players, and as soon as I found that out, I came back to the game, and I was able to do it. So yeah. Okay, so I've put some more lights on the wall, so what do I need to do? I need to build a storage chest. So we're still under Expand Old Camp. It says build a storage chest. So once again, the kind of stuff you're expecting. You have to come in here, and you have to build your essentials here. So I'm going to put a storage chest over here. Storage chests are a little controversial. We'll talk about storage a little bit later when we have more items to worry about. So we're probably not going to talk about it too much in this stream. So I can put my wood in here. I can put my metal scraps, my stone, my cloth scraps, which I never pointed out to you guys. I'm going to do that. My mushrooms and my heroes tokens. I want to keep my pickaxe. And I want to keep my torch, which I think burned out. I want to keep some things in my bar here just so I can access them at all times. But when I'm in here... Yeah, I made you guys get it. Oh, you distracted me. I lost it. But yeah, in here is where you can store just additional items and resources. Now, fun side note, if you have anything stored in a chest or on a pallet, which this is a coal pallet over here, which you can't see because I don't have a torch. This is a coal pallet. Coal pallet, everyone coal pallet. Pallets are going to be where you store a lot of your ores and other resources. So, no, Kirsch, you're fine. Please don't stop talking in the chat. You guys are the only ones here. But you're going to store some stuff on these. So if you have things stored on a pallet or in a chest, if you go to any of these, what is the word I'm looking for, you guys? That is like, it's not a resource. It's not, I keep wanting to call it a mechanism. What it would be, like this utility thing, whatever this, I don't know what you would call it. Anyways, when you go here and you open it up, so if I wanted to make iron ingots, we're not there yet. We will get there. So, I won't worry. No, not crafters. Oh.
Oh, they'll make a tasty treat.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those guys are creeps. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I can't do this. Oh, same old faith. Hashtag pro streamer. I don't have any commands. Don't even bother. I don't have any commands or emotes. You guys let me know if you want them. This is the simplest stream setup I've ever had. What was I talking about? Oh, if you have stuff stored in storage areas like pallets and chests, when you come here to craft, it will automatically pull from your storage. Okay, so smelter, it is a smelter. It's a furnace is what the item is called, but there's a category of thing that is used for making, and I can't think of, it was spooky, I know. I can't think of what the term is. So not specifically what this is, but the type of thing, the fact that you use it to make stuff, and it's fine. Anyways, so the game will pull things out of your storage. You don't have to have them in your pockets to craft on these machines, or whatever we're calling them. So that's a fun fact. Okay, so let's take a look at the forge. The forge says I need 3 iron ingots to rebuild them. OMG, I love that. Animal Crossing, count your days. Oh. Oh. That took me a minute to put together. Okay. I don't have 3 iron ingots, so we can't rebuild the forge yet. And then this fancy guy over here is a ruined map stone. Map stones are going to be your fast travel in this game. And I not only need 30 stone, I need a black diamond to rebuild this. So I need to find some really specific resources to rebuild my map stone. And I just need some iron ingots to rebuild the forge. So here we are. We've built our hearth. We've had a meal. We've made a bed. We've claimed it. So it's morning in the game. You can see underneath the bars in the lower left corner. It'll tell you what time of day it is. So day 2, guys. We stayed up all night talking. And now it's day 2, and it's morning. So you can sleep at any time in this game, and you can function at any time in this game. And I really, really appreciate that, because some games that are kind of like this, that are kind of resource gathering and base building and stuff, not necessarily survival type games, but either when you are hungry or it's nighttime, you just have to shut it down. Like, you gotta go home. If you don't go home, you, like, pass out, and, like, the angels carry you back to your bed. This game, no. You can function as long as you need to, as long as you want to, as long as you can keep food in your stomach. Now, there are some statuses that your dwarf is going to experience when you push your limits, but at the moment, we're actually pretty free to continue running around. We don't necessarily need to stop and go to sleep at night. So, before I run out of this door, let's look at the menu. So, this is my crafting menu. This is where everything kind of starts. There's an improvised axe in here. You guys can see this is the recipe that I'm standing on. I need this really bad. It takes metal fragments, wood scraps, and cloth scraps, all of which I have. So we're going to make one of these. This is going to be your rudimentary weapon to start this game out, because the goblins aren't going to hold off forever. Just for now. But, like, there's going to come a time, okay? And then there's an option in here called the Oaken Shield, which, of course, is a callback to Thor and Oaken Shield. But if you have wood and cloth scraps, you can build a shield. Call me crazy. I don't like using shields ever in any game for any reason. I'm not a shield person. I'm not a fan. So I'm not going to use the resources to make an Oaken Shield. I'm not going to use it. It would probably be the smart thing to do, but it's me and this is how it goes. So we've got our torch, and we've got our pickaxe. We've created those. We've built those. And you guys are familiar with that. A wooden flare, I've literally never made in my life, so let me make one. It says a small throwable torch. There are a couple of other items in this game that are going to function this way. It looks like crafting it once created 5. The question, I've never used this because I just carry a torch. But my question is, how long is it going to last? Because the flares in this game do not last very long. You kind of throw them and like 5 seconds later they're out. So you really got to like figure out where you're going really fast. Okay, but my next objective in the top right corner is find and mine ore. And I need to find some iron because I need to rebuild the forge and, you know, other things. So we need to find some iron so that we can put that in the furnace and create some iron ingots, craft some newer, stronger, better materials. Or resources, rather. Okay, whoa, look at him. Look at him. That's a whole group. Are you guys running away? Okay, they're still running away for now. Durin's Bane is gone. Okay, so he's talking about the Balrog. He's like, the Balrog is dead, right? Yes, yes, my good dwarf. Gandalf did indeed smite its ruin upon the mountainside. Okay, so here we found some iron ore. The game showed it to us. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm kind of rushing through and I'm not pointing things out. Those goblins really distracted me. Okay, so from the front door, there was an icon that was floating at the front of this deposit right here. And, oh my gosh. Here's some things that will attack us. Okay, I'm gonna grab my axe. We've got some wolves. We've got some wolves. Don't worry. We can handle them. Don't worry. Alright. Hey. Go away. Oh my gosh, hit him. I'm really good at this game. Okay, there he goes. Okay. Come here. I'm so sorry about your face. I'm sorry, but you're gonna kill me if I don't kill you. This is a survival game. Dwarf eat wolf, or wolf eat dwarf. Those are the only options. Okay, so I killed those guys, and I picked up some meat. I'm not a shield person either, can understand why you need to reach. Oh, some wolves. Okay, so when you kill animals in this game, you get meat, and you get hide. Pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. But yeah, the game is going to give you this one. It basically holds your hand and leads you over here. So this is what an iron deposit looks like. As I keep falling off. When it is embedded in rock. So as we traverse through the game, we're going to start to see some different elements. But this is rock right here, this gray kind of bedding material. And then the red stuff, of course, is the iron. So rock is going to give you stone. And it is much more efficient to get your stone from rock deposits like this. You're going to get a lot more stone for your kind of effort than necessarily breaking things kind of scattered around the area. So if you need stone, say I didn't have enough stone to build the hearth or whatever, coming to find a rock deposit is going to be a more efficient way to get it. To kind of get it. So I'm gonna like unapologetically get some rock here because we're right at the front of the game. And some point very soon we will be drowning in stone, but for now I'm not, and I would just feel more comfortable if I had some. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, he ran out of stamina. Okay, so I'm being quiet because if you're picking up on it, when you start to mine actual, like, high value ore, your dwarf will start to hum. He's got a lovely humming voice. Now, you'll see this little command on my screen. It says, Inspiration Strikes. Hit X to start singing. I'm going to do it for you guys. He's not doing it. Dude. Dude. Why? I'm working on it, Cursed. I'm trying. He won't do it.
Make me the perfect miner. Cleave her straight from the core. Callous fists, crystal born, harder than the anvil's horn, with a frame that cracks the mold, facets of emerald, ruby, and gold, wrought from the finest, sprung from the stone, opal the iris, silver the bone.
Ah, a song for a mining heart.
Okay. That was a little performance for you guys. He knows how much you hate it. I don't hate it. I did make him nervous. I rarely sing because some of the songs are funny. Yeah. So, again, this development team, the people that made this game, the lore, the accuracy. So as you would know, if you've read The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, songs are just everywhere. They are everything. They didn't put them all in the films. They haven't put them all in the games. There's a lot of songs. But yeah, so he's just singing one of the songs that is most likely actually found in the source material. I ended up doing a little bit of exploring and discovered that a lot of the things that they sing are actually taken directly from the books. So that's super cool. But it's just part of their culture. Singing is part of their culture, just like with elves. And yeah, so they sing, and it will help you not use quite so much stamina when you mine, if you sing while you're mining. So that's a fun little tidbit. They will sing while they mine, and I'll tell you why I don't like it here in a second. This is a ROUS. This is a humongous rat. They will not hurt you. They will not attack you. But they're delicious, so I'm gonna kill it. Come here, dude. There he goes. They are super tasty. And it's very important to note that in a game, they are labeled as snack rats. They are literally here for your snacking pleasure. There are so many goblins down here. You know what it is, Cursed? You know why there's so many? Because I'm on normal mode. If I was on story mode, I probably wouldn't have seen as many at this point. But yeah, so we got some iron. I'm gonna close this door because there's goblins out there. And they won't go away. Hopefully I don't get a siege. I'm not ready for one yet. Okay, so I got some iron. I have some like raw ore. You can see it in the bottom right of my hot key bar, whatever bar. And yes, so now I can interact with the forge, or I'm sorry, the furnace. And it'll craft some iron ingots for me. So it's important to note, it says added fuel coal. There's like little icons popping up. Added fuel coal. You need fuel to create anything in the furnace or the forge, as you can imagine. So the game was super nice. Remember Mr. Coal Palette over here? It gave us some coal by default, so I was able to go ahead and make these ingots really quickly. So you're gonna need materials. There's multiple materials. It's not just coal. There's several things that you can gather to feed the flames that you can then craft upon. So now we've got to wait. You can see there's a little time on here. I think it's 30 seconds per ingot. So we're just cooking some ingots right now. And I want to rebuild this forge as soon as possible. My cheese levels are pretty low, so I'm going to teach you a little trick that we do here. I have some meat as well. So I'm going to interact with the hearth, open up the menu. I can do mushroom stew again, or I can do meat. I can't do meat. I don't have enough meat. Never mind. We're going to do mushroom stew. I'm going to cook 2 servings. And this is a fun little trick. Now, it's only late afternoon, but I haven't slept yet. So you know what? I'm going to take a little nappy nap after I start my dinner. I will no longer have to wait for my food to cook or my ingots to cook, to bake. It's going to be done once you wake up. So that's a fun little hack you can do. Oh gosh, I'm under siege. I'm not ready. So what I'm going to do is go into my build menu. I'm just going to build more walls. I don't feel equipped to fight a siege right now. It's a little early in the game. So I'm just going to go defense. And I'm going to build a few more layers of wall. Now this is my default way of dealing with this. It's a bit cowardly, but at the moment it just feels like the smart thing to do. So I'm going to build some more walls just in case they break through the first layer. And I'm pretty sure I will outlast this siege. And I mean, I'm hungry too. Like, I'm hungry. I have stuff to build. Like, I ain't trying to fight these guys right now. But when you have lit a stone hearth, you have established a base camp. And once you establish a base camp, you are under threat from sieges. Orcs, like hordes of them, will come and try to break into your camp and take you out. So it's the fact that this hearth is active and also that my dwarf is in this location. They've come to siege my camp. So they're gonna do that. I'm gonna gather my ingots. I have 9 now. And I'm gonna repair the forge. Oh gee, what? I never even thought of doing this. No judgment. It was my default. It's my default. When I played with Kirsten Ara, they were like, let's go kill him, like 0 hesitation. And I was like, whoa, we could just defend ourselves. It's an option. It's an option. I think this will be enough. I'm a little worried because I do have some gaps here because I can't see very well. So they could, if they broke through the first layer, they could just walk around. So just make sure it's sealed, you know? It's tight and it's sealed. They shouldn't be able to get in. They should be able to get in. Okay. This is really distracting. Can you guys go? The siege has ended. Thank you. That's all I needed. That's all I needed you to do is go away. Okay, the siege has ended. We'll take a look at the damage here in a second. So I repaired the forge. Get excited. Now you can interact with the forge, and this is going to open a whole new slew of recipes for you. Now that we are here, I can craft an iron sword. So exciting. A real sword, not a makeshift axe, you know, to mess around with. A real shield made of iron and iron shield. So exciting. And then it's unlocked a few other options for me here. I'm going to be honest with you. All of these are DLC weapons, and there's no way without cheating that I can get the resources to make these items at this point in the game. So they're visible to you, but don't be confused. We cannot make these, and these are DLC specific. You will not have these in your game unless you purchase the DLC. So I can make an iron sword, our first major upgrade, super exciting. Also, I need to make an iron hammer under the tools category, and this will be super useful in like 5 seconds. So I need to make an iron hammer. I definitely need to make an iron sword. But I need a certain amount of ingots for both of them. There's something else I need to build as well that requires ingots. So let's see. I'm going to prioritize a sword. So I just added my coal. And now I'm going to craft. Okay, and now it's saying if I wanted to make another sword, I would need more hide scraps. So I need to go whack a few more wolves. But I have a new sword. Super exciting. What does the iron hammer cost? Oh, I can do this too. I have enough. Okay, so let's make the iron hammer. And now I'm out of ingots. I only have 1 ingot, right? So we've got our hammer. We've got our sword. I'm going to go ahead and put my old axe in here. I'm going to put my sword in the front. This is my kind of default construction of my bar. I put my weapon in front, the pickaxe next, and then any other light resources or carry resources I put over here. So you will see that I've got a very small inventory up here, like above my hotbar. So I do have some things in my inventory. It's my pack. It's the pack that I'm carrying. And I want to put these in the chest as... Oops, I want to put these in the chest as well. I have some citrine. So this is a gem that's going to come when you harvest some iron. Again, as the bedding material changes, so that iron was inside of rock. When we harvest some iron or mine some iron out of a different bedding material, you'll get a different gem. But for now, we're getting citrine. There's nothing I can do with it at the moment, so I'm just going to put it in storage. We do have 18 more pieces of iron ore, so I can craft a few more ingots, and I will. We've got these flares I never did anything with. Let me throw this meat in here. And then this is a weird one, you guys. I cannot explain this. I cannot explain this. I like to keep my hammer in my pack and not like down here in my hotbar. And I think it's because the hammer is a tool that you will pull out and use when you need to. It's not something you have to like, so my sword, I need to like grab my sword, or I need to grab my pickaxe. The hammer will just come into your hand when you need it. So I kind of just leave it in my pack, and I don't know why. I don't know why that matters, because I could just put it in the bar and it wouldn't be a big deal. Okay, anyways, I have some more iron, so let's make some more ingots. Let's see how many more we can make. Oh, we're out of fuel. Okay, so I could have made 1 more ingot, but I'm out of coal. So we're going to get a few more ingots here. And there's one other item I really, really want to make with iron. So we're going to kind of sit tight and wait for that to happen. Do you get any kind of brownie points for surviving that? No, you just get to survive. You survive the survival game. They tried to kill you and you said no, so you win. Like, I won my life. Same unless I'm actually repairing a bunch of stuff, it lives in my pack too. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. It's just one of those automatic tools that will pull out when you need it, so like you don't need to access it really. Okay, let's see the damage that was done. They took out my door. Sorry, I'm gonna grab my torch so we can see it. They took out my door completely, and they beat this wall up pretty bad. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pick up all of these stones that are on the floor. Now this is a really great example. So my inventory. Here's my iron hammer. This is the only situation in which you have to go and like get it. The rest of the time it'll just activate. I'll show you what that means. We'll use the hammer in a way that it makes sense what I'm talking about. So anyways, you can use this hammer to repair anything that you have built. It doesn't cost anything, you just use the hammer. So I am using the hammer to increase this integrity of my walls have been, you know, they were beating them down. So I can fix them. Unfortunately, they broke my door, so I need to straight up build a new door. So let's do that. So yeah. So there's that. I really need these ingots to cook here. How long do we have? I've got 3. 3 is enough, I think, so I'm gonna grab them. Now, we need to go into the build menu under essentials and crafting. Oh, I need 5 ingots. I need to build this repair smithy. It will allow me to repair my tools and my weapons. So, like I said, per usual, your stuff is going to degrade the more you use it. Your torches will burn out. My sword will deteriorate as I fight with it. My hammer will deteriorate as I build with it, my pickaxe, so on and so forth. So we really need a repair smithy. It's one of the default items you need to have in your base camp. Just as you would repair your own HP by cooking and eating, you would fix your tool HP by using the repair smithy. And you need metal fragments to repair your stuff. So we are just trying to build one of those, and I think I'm just short like 1 ingot. Can I build it now? Yes, I can. Okay. Repair smithy. It's this little guy right here. Nothing crazy. Okay, so you come up here, you interact with it. It opens a menu for you. It's going to list the items that you have equipped, and you will just hit A to repair. So down here you'll see metal fragments. I just need 1 fragment to repair this pickaxe, and 1 fragment to repair my hammer, which I use to fix my walls. So that is the repair smithy. It is super important to have. And now I'm going to equip my sword real quick. And, okay, so I don't have any objectives showing directly on my screen. I've got a repair smithy for my tools. I've got a bed to sleep in. I've got a fire to cook at and a table. I have storage. I have a furnace and a forge. And there's really nothing else at the moment that I'm super concerned about making with the forge. But you can kind of tab over and look at the different categories. But at the moment, there's nothing else I desperately need in terms of, like, that I can make. You know what I mean? So this game is very much a progression. So we have started with the most basic stuff. I'm going to be able to craft armor at some point. I'm going to be able to craft better weapons as we go. I'm going to be able to make new and better things as we continue to mine new and better materials. So this is really like ground zero, the starting point. Let's take a look really quickly at the menu in more detail. So I'm going to go into the main tab at the top here. So there's a goals tab, and this is literally like your travel log. This will tell you what you need to be doing next if you forget. So this is like your little journal. So as you can see, I'm going to open this out, and here in the middle we've crossed out a bunch of objectives. I gathered supplies, I spoke to the raven, I explored until Arik returned, and I'm preparing for the long dark. That's what I'm doing right now in this base camp. So the thing with the arrow next to it is take Durin's Highway east. So it's like find Durin's Highway and follow it east. That's literally my next objective. Whatever else is going to happen while I try to do that is going to be the survival part of the game. Survival and gathering, right? So that's your objective. That's the next thing we need to try to do. So that's where you're going to find it, is under goals. Now, if I pop over to this far left kind of, what's the term I want to use? Column? Far left column. My Journey in the Dark is the category that we're in right now. So my Journey in the Dark is your list of objectives. There are tips in here if you are confused about how to do any of these things, how swords work, axes, fast travel, we're not quite there yet, digging, jumping, so on and so forth. This is your super basic instruction manual. The tutorial mode pretty much covered it. It told you what buttons to push to do different things. So this is just here as a resource if you get lost or kind of forget. You can also go down here to mysteries, and this is really cool because this is part of the lore aspect of the game. So if I click on Durin's Axe, Ori's Records was the book that we found when we came into this base camp that was sitting on the pedestal. His records say, it's literally listed here, it's so great. I have found a parchment in an elvish hand, Durin's Day, TA, that is 3rd Age, 2989. Balin has sent 5 of us to establish outposts in the far corners of Moria. Here we begin our search. Okay, so this is under the category of Durin's Axe. We're going to talk about Durin's Axe a whole lot as we progress in the game. For right now, this is the first hint or information that we have about Durin's Axe. So when he says we begin our search here, we're searching for the axe. Put those two things together. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so Ori's Records. So this is like, we just picked up this information. This is where it's stored. The orcs, I can select that. This is a little bit of, kind of looks more like a checklist. But they're going to tell you why it's important if you look at it. So, outlasted a siege. We outlasted our first siege. Last night, they finally attacked our small encampment. It was not the size of the orc hordes of legend when waves of rakas relentlessly broke against the dwarven defenses. Yet now vigilance is needed along with repairs to the walls. I actually wonder if this is part of Ori's... Oh no, this is us. This is us because watching, not attacking. That's what they did in the beginning. I was going to say this might be part of Ori's story, but I think this is us. Foul goblins hunt my steps. This was us. Haunt my steps, not hunt them. They don't hunt steps. Refuse to directly engage in a fight. Is this what their boss told them to do? To what end? Sleep will be difficult. There are eyes in the dark around every corner. So if you want to, this is optional stuff for you to look at. We can do this too. I like this one. The orc survives. It was too much to hope that the orcs of Moria marched to war and never returned. They either survived or never left. How many orcs still plague these mountains is uncertain, but there is enough that they have an orc town. I overheard them planning to watch me. I will keep my weapon sharp and ready. So it makes sense that this is kind of under your goals tab or your journal entry, because it's reminding you what you've seen, what's happened, kind of important little notes of what's going on here, right? So when we got in here, this is how the orcs behaved. We overheard them talking. They mentioned an orc town. Gosh darn it. Moria's not empty. We really do have to take it back. Yeah, so this is just a record keeping of where you've been and what you've done. Under the tab, the cursed runes, the doors of Durin are cursed. We went to the doors of Durin at the very beginning of the game, discovered that purple shadow curse on it, talked about it with Auric, all that good stuff. Someone or something has gouged a cursed rune into the inside of the gate. This is why Gimli's company couldn't get the doors of Durin open from the outside. Evil shadow exudes from it, blocking any from approaching. Could this be why there are piles of dead orcs? So this is calling out what we saw and just putting words to it. So you can kind of dig a little bit deeper, really get a good feeling for it. Learning the game, these are the initial little objectives that it gave us, like craft a torch, eat some mushrooms, basic stuff. So we kind of like completed this one. But yeah, so this is just a note. This is a list of notes about what we've seen and what we've done so far. And then my journey in the dark is going to be what you need to do next. Okay, so moving on. Appendices. I love this tab. I love this tab. Okay, this is the lore tab. This is where you go to read about the lore of the game and get a better understanding and a better appreciation for what's going on. Again, completely optional. If you're not into, if you're just playing a survival game, happens to be dwarves in a mine, and you have no value on that, that's fine, totally fine. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and I appreciate the lore in this game. So if I go through here, it's going to tell me about the food ingredients that we find. It's going to tell me about the creatures that we encounter. It's going to tell me about dwarf craft. So how all of the crafting mechanics kind of work, that's going to be in here. Durin's folk. Auric the Raven. So Auric, son of Auric, is a raven of Erebor belonging to the rookery of Lord Gimli's company. Auric's family originally hails from Ravenhill, near Erebor, and are amongst the few ravens who can speak and understand the speech of dwarves. These intelligent raven families have long helped Durin's folk. So this is the kind of stuff that you're going to find in the appendices. It's going to be backstories to either characters, situations, or references that reference the actual source material that's part of a grander story. Oh, look, King Thorin's Stonehelm. I'm right. It is King Thorin's Stonehelm. Yeah, I was right. Thorin the Third. Okay. That was Stonehelm. But yeah, so this is going to give you a little backstory on Auric. This is going to be a little backstory on Gimli. This is going to be a little backstory on King Thorin. So this stuff is in here for you if you care, if you want to explore it. It's so beautiful. I love the work, the unnecessary work that the team put into putting this information in here for you. So the camp of Gimli's company, we can, you can look at the backstory of that. The contract, this is crazy. This is the contract basically that Gimli put to any dwarves who want to come and be a part of this, taking back Moria. Like, it's so much information. It'll tell you not only about creatures and ingredients, it'll tell you about resources, all the things that you're going to find. There's hide scraps in here, wood scraps, cloth scraps. Like, it tells you what it is, how to find it, why it matters, all that good stuff. So location specific. No worries, Curse. Yeah, Kathleen, I love it, and I'm spending too much time on it, but like the backstory of the Doors of Durin, the backstory of the Westgate, which is where we are right now, and we haven't even looked at the map yet, so that's super fun. But anything and everything you want to know a little bit more about, or maybe you're confused, or maybe you see it and you think, well, that's random, I don't get it. There's probably a notation about it here in the appendices. And then Dwarven history, so everything in this list is actually associated with DLC, so I'm not going to spend any time on it. But even for the DLC packs that they release for this game, fairly often in my opinion, represent lore-specific storylines that they are adding in addition to cosmetics and items in game. So even when they just do a DLC to give you more building items or a new outfit or whatever, they have a lore associated with it. Why it makes sense that this thing exists, why you have this item in this game, in this world. Like, it's just so intensive. I love it so much. Okay. Speaking of the map, the map is controversial. It's a tough map. I'm not going to lie. This is the only thing that we have. This is literally, it is revealed as you travel. So this map in front of us encompasses all of the yardage that we've, the square footage that we've touched so far. So here's the trick with this map. I will toggle. Actually, hold on. Can I? It won't let me. Okay, so there's other areas. So right now we're in the Western Halls. We're on the west side of the mountains. The Doors of Durin, Westgate. This is all on the western side. Obviously, I don't need to keep saying it. But this particular area. So you're going to come across other areas. I'm not going to say what they are or where they are. We'll discover them as we go. But the Western Halls is where we are right now. So the map for the Western Halls is going to be revealed as we explore, which is super fun. The hard thing about this map is, as you can see, it's not terribly detailed. It's kind of just a block. It's just a color. A lot of people are very upset about this map. I was very confused by it the first time I played as well, so I get it. I really do get it. The tricky thing about this game is that there are levels because we are in mines. So we are... Where are we right now? We're in the West Gate. It doesn't tell me... Oh, we are... Okay, so top left. West Gate, 218 fathoms deep. So we are 218 fathoms deep into the mountain. This is like, it's almost like sea level, right? Because that's the inside of a mountain and the dwarves mined all of it and they established these levels, right? So what's confusing about this map is that there are going to be areas that we get into that you're going to have to go up or you're going to have to go down, and we'll experience that for ourselves. And what's confusing is that the map itself does not reflect levels. So we aren't next to any additional levels at the moment. We're right at the beginning of the game. But say we had a second level, I'm not actually going to see it on the map. The map isn't going to tell me. So what you have to get used to doing is looking over here on the left in this column, and it will tell you if something is yards away or if it is fathoms away. So the aftermath is the where we spawned when we got blown into the mountain, okay? That's 145 yards away. That means it's on this level. If this had said 145 fathoms, that means it's on a different level. I need to find stairs that take me up or take me down, because it'll say fathoms below or above. So that's how you have to learn to navigate this map. And people are really, really upset about it because it makes it difficult, but I feel like that's kind of the point. Because if you were a dwarf coming in here of a generation of a descendant, dwarves don't have familiarity. The dwarves of this generation of the Fourth Age don't have familiarity with Moria. They haven't been here for generations. So it makes sense per the narrative that it wouldn't be super clear. You wouldn't have you have to figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's a survival game. So it's not supposed to be easy per se. So I was frustrated with the map when I first played. I get that people are frustrated with it. I think it kind of makes sense. And then once you understand the yards versus fathoms and you kind of get to a certain point, I think right now if you're starting the game for the first time, it's never going to make sense. But we're going to get to a certain point where you understand how to get up and down levels. And once you understand that, you can figure it out. So anyways, you can also mark your map. So you see some of these icons on here. These are default markings. But I can reach any particular location of note, and I can drop a marker on the map, and that's going to help us as well. So there's ways to do it, right? I struggle with the map, but I get it. I do wish, though, we had a mini map. Hello, Jessica. Welcome in. A fathom is 6 feet. Is it? I had no idea. But yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about the map as we explore, and a little bit more of it becomes relevant. So let's pop over here to the crafting menu. We've seen this already. I really don't need to spend a lot of time here. This is where it's called field crafting, is how they kind of reference it. It's different from building, you know, and other things. So the only other thing to note in this screen is this bottom left recipe list down here. It says recipe list, and it's got an X next to it. If I open this up, so field crafting, here we go. Here's the category. So this is going to show me what I can craft kind of out of my pockets, right? And then we can go over here into this far left column and highlight the furnace. This will tell me what I can make in the furnace. This will tell me what I can make in the forge. You can access this menu at any time. We could be like yards away from our base camp and check this list specifically to find out what we need to make what thing in which crafting. I still can't think of the word I'm using. I love mini maps, so also this is a mountain, so I understand using fathoms, yeah. So yeah, so you can reference this list. So say, well, we'll do it later. I don't want to give anything away. It's, you know, so we'll get there. But anyway, this is a good resource that you can bust out whenever you need. This recipe list that kind of lives in the field crafting menu. Let me do something really quick to clear those icons. And then let's pop over to the build menu. So we've also been here a little bit. Essentials and crafting are going to be light sources, forges. There's multiple kinds of hearths that are larger and more useful. There's other things that you can build. There's some farming that you can do in this game, so we'll get there when we get there. And other storage things, pallets, all of this good stuff that we've kind of seen as storage. So we will explore more of this in the future. We just don't need it right now. And this is more of the introduction at the beginning of the game. So this is your essentials in crafting. This is stuff you just need to kind of survive, and a few things that'll make life a little bit easier as you go. If we go over, hold on. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. If we go over to wood and stone, it's pretty self-explanatory. These are your wooden and your stone recipes for basic building items. You've got walls, stairs, pillars, columns, roofs, floors, all this good stuff. This stuff, again, I'm not going to build right here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it. We put up walls to protect ourselves. That's all I'm worried about. But this is where those recipes will live. The Lodge tab, I'm not going to explore it all for the moment. This is a DLC. You will not have any of these recipes unless you purchase the Beorn DLC pack, so I'm not going to sit here and act like this is part of the base game. And then furnishing is going to be very much that, like decorative elements, things that you can place. So we've got some like candelabras, a couple of other items that are DLC specific, and is there anything else in here that's not DLC specific? Not yet. not at this point in the game. So like I said, recipes will unlock as you go, and it's a great idea to build anything that you can kind of build in the essentials. I won't say in these other categories, but in the essentials, kind of build everything when you can, because it might unlock something new. So hang on to that. And then we have the inventory tab, of course. Oh, I'm starving. That's such a scary noise. And this is going to be what you're carrying in your backpack, because you can see your hotbar all of the time, right? But this is going to be your backpack inventory. And then we have the wardrobe tab, and this is really fun because I have DLC, and because of the way that they set up the wardrobe mechanic in this game, I personally have access to a lot of cosmetic options. I can switch to a bunch of different armors, but this is stuff you unlock as you go when you first start the game, and also things that you get via DLC packs. So there's a lot of different things that I could wear and put on. What you need to know about the wardrobe is it's purely cosmetic. So whatever armor you actually have equipped, which you're going to see here in your inventory. So the only thing I have equipped right now is a pack. That's a default. You'll see a pair of pants, a glove, like a tunic, and a helmet. Little icon here, these little bubbles. Once we actually are able to make our first armor and equip it, that's where it's going to live. So your equipped armor is going to be here, and that's going to be what holds your stats. How strong your armor is, how much damage you can take, so on and so forth. When you get into the wardrobe, it purely affects the appearance of the clothes. It does not affect the protection levels or anything like that. So if I have really weak armor, even if I use the cosmetic of a higher strength armor that you might get later in the game, it's not actually going to reflect that strength in gameplay. So wardrobe, purely cosmetic, does not affect stats. End of story. Okay, and then we come over here to our system tab. We've got settings, your basic stuff, button mapping, audio, video, gameplay controller, yada yada. Then there's the difficulty, which right now I'm at normal. That's where it started me, but we have a couple of options here. So we've got story mode, which is gonna have some default settings. We have solo mode for single players, which like saved my life when I first started. The normal difficulty, which is your default one, start the game. That's where we are right now. Literally everything's set to default. Enemy aggression is high. Don't know how I feel about that. Then you have hard, and then you have custom. So hard is self-explanatory. Oh, sorry. Hard is self-explanatory. I know how to play this game. Why? Why can't I? Hold on. Hold on. Give her a second. She'll figure it out. I don't want to change it. How did I get... It's not letting me move tabs anymore. Okay, well, it's fine. Hard is self-explanatory. It's the hard one. All the stuff's going to be set to the highest difficulty, right? And then custom is really cool. Custom is kind of where I live. This you can set each individual mechanic to your discretion. So combat difficulty, enemy aggression, survival difficulty, which I think applies to statuses. So if you get like a poison status or say that darkness status where it starts to chip away at your HP, I think the duration and potentially the intensity of the status is affected by this idea of survival difficulty. So if you put survival difficulty low, I believe it's gonna, those status effects won't last as long, so they won't take as much damage, is how I personally have seen it play out. Again, I'm not an expert at this stuff. Mining drops, of course, that's when we're gonna mine for ore. You can set that to high, low, anywhere in between. I don't know why anyone would set it low for any reason. So it's set on high. World drops, I want to say that that's enemy drops, I think, which they don't, at this point in the game, they're not going to drop anything. That doesn't happen until a little bit later, but I think that's what world drops means. Horde frequency. Hordes are attacks that you trigger out in the wild. We'll talk about that a little bit more while you're exploring. Siege frequency, we experienced a siege in this base camp, so you can set the frequency of how often a siege may come to your base camp, so I would personally put that low because I'm not here for that. And then patrol frequency, so when we were out grabbing iron and other things and we saw goblins just kind of walking around, those are patrols. So hordes and sieges are aggressive. They are coming for, like they've identified you, they're coming for you. Patrols are just kind of walking around, and if you get too close, they're going to notice you, and then you've got a fight on your hands. But they're just kind of chilling until that happens. So here's all of the individual things that you can set in custom. I think for now I'm just going to like not change anything and see how much I die. Because I've played this game for over a year, and I've played multiple campaigns. And I think I might be able to handle it, but like, we'll see. If I start to die and things just get really stressful like that, it kind of ruins the game for me. A little bit of challenge I'm there for, but for the most part, I just want to be able to do it. I don't need to be able to do it super easily. I just want to be able to do it. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. And then of course, exiting the game options. So that is the entire menu. Super exciting. I am absolutely starving. So let's make some mushroom stew. It is twilight. I'm going to go ahead and take another nap. I'm too hungry to fall asleep though. So what I'm going to do instead is eat a single mushroom, a little midnight snack. And then I should be able to sleep. There we go. Okay. And then breakfast. It's the dark though. We're like we woke up in the middle of the night. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, so what did we say our next objective was in our goals tab? What time is it, by the way? Hello, clock? Ooh, I'm going a little bit over. So let's do... I should stop. I should stop. I know, curse, don't you curse, call me out. I'm trying to think of like what we could do. Okay, we're gonna look at just a couple of things in the area, but we're not gonna like play, okay? We're just gonna look at a couple of things. Okay. So I'm going to equip my sword, equip my torch. We're gonna step outside for a minute. So again, this is the Westgate area. The doors of Durin are down here to the left. And then to go forward, you see this icon. It says Gate to Durin's Highway. If you guys remember, that's our next objective, is Durin's Highway. So you can follow the icons on the screen, or you can explore and find your way there. I just want to point this out really quick. So this is lovely. These are really cool. These are called Muznakan. This is a Muznakan of Ori's line. And so these are carvings. Actually, he'll talk about it. So let me just look at it, and then he'll tell us what's going on.
A Muznakan to a family of old. I'll return the missing figures. Honor them.
Okay, so he said, a line of old. So what's really cool, this is Ori's line. So these little figures, we might be able to find one. They're kind of lying around. You see this glowing situation over here? This is a Muznakan. Look at that. Ori's Muznakan. I saw another one. Ori's Muznakan. This is a cloth scrap. I never pointed it out. I took it for granted. This is a cloth scrap on the ground. Here's a random semi-pallet of wood. Definitely worth taking. There's some stuff in here. Super fun. Some more wood, some more cloth. We're not here for that. So those were the figures, and they're kind of lying around in the area. This is another ore deposit. This is coal. Look how pretty and shiny it is. That's coal. We'll get that later. Very necessary for forging ingots. So I found a couple of statues. So I have an option to place carvings, so we're going to do that. It's going to glow a bit. It's telling me I need 3 more to unlock. So this is actually a chest, not just a cute shelf. This is a chest. And once we replace enough Muznakan carvings, it's going to open up and give us some cool stuff. So that's a Muznakan. There's going to be one in all of the major locations in the game. And they're going to represent family lines of dwarves that all are references. I see that green glow over there. I missed one. I need to make another. Oh, let's try a wood flare. Oh gosh. I wasn't expecting a wolf attack. Oh, jump scare. Jump scare. Come here, Fluffy. Come here. Come here. Oh, I wasn't expecting them. So these guys are a patrol. They were just walking around. And they stumbled upon me and they attacked. Because, you know, the red eyes, they're evil. Gives it away. Okay, so we've got some more meat, so that's fun. Oh, that was scary. I wasn't expecting it. Let me try the wood flare. So I should just hold it in my hand. No? It won't let me do anything with it. He only has one head. He's not Fluffy. I know. Oh, it is in my hand. Okay. Oh, look. It's like a little... It's actually like a little flare. Okay, so I need to throw it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's a flare. Let's see how long it lasts. I feel like it's gonna last for like 2 seconds. Let's walk away from it a little bit too. We have other, like I said, we have other flares in this game we'll come across a little bit later, and they last for like no time at all. Yeah, there it goes. Like, how am I supposed to find anything when you give me like 3 seconds? Anyways, there's some more wolves down there. I'm gonna make another torch real quick. My torch burned out. Drama. I saw another Muznakan shining over here. It's in the house somewhere. Oh, he's on the bottom shelf of this. Okay, so we're not going to do it right now either, but all of this like debris and furniture and stuff you find in houses, you can break it. And there's other things that you are looking for in derelict houses. A pro tip though, be careful and aim, because you will also break the house itself. Now this house is not in great condition. If I was going to spend a lot of significant time in this area or build a lot in this area, I would probably break this house down. Technically, you could repair it. There's a couple of options as far as that goes. But just know when you come into a house and you're kind of harvesting resources, materials out of it, if you hit the wall, instead of hitting this shelf, the wall is collapsing. And you can break the house, and having a half a broken house isn't cute, so it can be a problem. So just heads up on that. The houses are very delicate. They're not in great condition for obvious reasons, but just be careful when you go smashing things. When and if. Okay, so that's 2. Can I find one more Muznakan? Nearby. Oh, was there one on top of there? Yes, it is. And I will say to you as well, there are more carvings in the area than you need. There's a couple of things in this game where you need to collect some items so that you can unlock something. And for the most part, you're going to have more of those unlockables than you need. Just so that, because the game is just kind of guaranteeing you success in case you don't find certain ones. So yeah, I think we have enough, so let's get this going. Okay, so I replaced them all. Let's open it. So I've got 20 gold coins, 2 sapphires, 5 iron ingots, thank you. A build lore tome, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Craft plans, so these are recipes. This is for a trapper hat. And this is for an heirloom shield. So you can get recipes and resources out of the Muznakan chests, but you have to collect the pieces and replace them first. So I'm glad that that was super easy and I could show that to you super quick. Anything else? I think we'll save for the next stream, which is on Friday. It's really soon. It's super soon. So this is the beginning of the game, introduction, backstory, what we're trying to do. So when we come back on Friday, we're going to make our way towards the Dimrel Gate, and we're going to reveal more fun content of the game as we go. So we'll head back to base. I still have a flare. Go. Go. You useless things that only glow for like 3 seconds. There you go. A little disco party. There we go. I can see clearly now. For 3 seconds. Alright. We'll go back to base. This is kind of how I would wrap up a game myself, if I were playing. So I'd come in, I would unequip everything that I don't need, like a torch or a sword or whatever, put it back in my pockets. Let's go ahead and put into storage other resources. I want to keep that hammer in my pockets. But this stone, this meat, this wood, and this iron can all go in storage. I'm going to come to the repair smithy. I'm going to fix my sword so it's ready to go. And my HP isn't great. I'm not necessarily hungry, but my HP isn't great. So I'm going to make 1 serving of food and I'm going to smash that. And so when we start the game back up again, all my equipment is ready to go. I am rested and I will be full and we can just go from here. So yeah, any questions, comments, or concerns so far? Feelings? Do we love it? Isn't it the best thing ever? Can you guys hear this music? The music is so good. I do the same thing. I always go and unload and all that. Yeah. It's how you should live your life. You should just handle your stuff when you get home. So yeah. So that is Return to Moria in a nutshell. That is us getting started. There is so much more. There's a lot more stuff to come. So much more content. And like I said, there is DLC on the regular... Excuse me, giving you new cosmetics, giving you new building items, stuff like that. It's pretty exciting. And then there is a campaign expansion, the first official story expansion for the game coming at the end of the year. I am so excited. There's some really, really cool stuff that they have already told us is coming in that expansion. And then a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets. Okay, so we're gonna say goodnight to Ulrich or whatever his name is. I still don't know what his name is. Who did I pick? Ulrich. Alright, how am I gonna do this? I'll just put myself up here. Hello. Hello. She looks exactly like me. This is an AI generated image, by the way. I tried to make her chubbier, I did. She's just got a round face. I tried to make her chubbier. They wouldn't let me do it. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up for now. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Kirst. Thank you, Jessica, for popping in and saying hello. And for hanging out. Aldrich, thank you. Greenhouse tenant, that's what you said, yeah. Aldrich, I'll have to try to remember. But, yeah, thank you guys for being here. The first live stream. She's back, I guess. For now. Until She's not anymore. But thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully some more viewers will check out this VOD after the fact. That's kind of what I expected. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are watching the VOD after this live stream is over, please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the live stream VOD and if you think you want to come back for more. Then and only then should you like and subscribe, but please. I appreciate the support. Jessica, it was a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out in chat. Kathleen, lovely to see you. I know. See you. I swear she looks like me. This is how long my hair is now, though. For those of you who know about my hair growing journey, my hair is this long, which is insane. But anyways, you guys have a great rest of your day. Curse is going to be back. Excellent. And yeah, I'll catch you later. How do I end? Wait, hold on. Do I have a screen for this? I don't think so. Okay, so I gotta do this. Hold on. I'm gonna learn. This is the first one, you guys. We're just figuring it out. We're just figuring it out. Okay, I'm out of here. You guys have a good one. I'm totally leaving.